Welcome back, Algebra 2 students. We're in lesson 112. We've already learned how to do quadratic inequalities using the greater than sign where we're looking for a positive number. Now we're going to look at how to use the less than sign where we're looking for a negative number. So whenever we have a greater than 0, we know we're looking for a positive number. We know it had to be positive times positive, or it had to be negative times negative, right, in order to be greater than 0 for a positive number. For a negative number, or for it to be less than 0, it has to be a negative number. So we have to have a positive times a negative, or we have to have a negative times a positive in order for that to be less than 0, to be a negative number. So let's apply what we learned and what we know about this and do some example problems. All right, so in order to do this, we are going to set up a positive, negative. So we already know how to do positive, so we're going to say x plus 2 is greater than 0. That's how we would set a positive up. For a negative, we say x minus 3 is less than 0. And then we solve like normal. Subtract 2 from both sides. X is greater than negative 2. Solve this. X is less than a positive 3. Now, can a number that is greater than negative 2 be less than a positive 3? Yes, we could put in positive 2 here. Positive 2 is still less than positive 3. So both of these would work together. Let's try the other side where we have a negative and a positive. So that would be x plus 2 would be less than 0, and x minus 3 would be greater than 0. So when we solve that, we find that x is less than negative 2, and x is greater than a positive 3. Can a number that is less than negative 2 be greater than positive 3? No. Neither one of these work, because a number that is greater than 3 cannot be less than negative 2. These, however, are the ones that work and the ones we'll graph. So when you have a less than symbol here, you're not going to have one solution from each side. You're going to have both solutions from one side or the other. And instead of having a disjunction, as with a greater than symbol, when you have a less than symbol, you're going to have a conjunction. So that means when we graph it, let me go over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me switch colors. Because this has not got the equal sign on the bottom, I'm just going to circle the 3. Here's my 3, and here's my negative 2. I'm going to circle the 2. Now, every number that is greater than negative 2 is also less than positive 3. So that is my answer. That is how I would graph that. All right, so let's look at another example problem. This is pretty easy to catch up to. The conjunctions are always easier to me than the disjunctions. The disjunctions take a second. So let's look at example problem 112.2. All right, in this statement we have quadratic equation. X squared plus 2x minus 8 is less than 0 in the domain of integers. So the first thing we have to do is factor. So we factor this. We factor x, and that's going to be a positive 4 and a negative 2, because the inner number would be positive 4x, the outer number would be negative 2x. The combined, that would give you a positive 2x in the middle. So now we're going to set this up as positive, negative, positive, the reverse, negative, positive. So my positive negative is going to be x plus 4, and positive would be greater than 0. X minus 2 and negative would be less than 0. X is greater than negative 4, and x is less than a positive 2. Now my negative would be x plus 4 is less than 0, and my positive would be x minus 2 is greater than 0. So x would be less than a negative 4, and x would be greater than a positive 2. So now let's evaluate these two sets. Can a number be less than negative 4 and less than positive 2? Yes, because if we put 0 in here, 0 is less than 2, but 0 is also greater than negative 4. So both of these work, which means these are probably not going to work. So if a number is less than negative 4, can it be greater than a positive 2? No, those are complete disjunctions. So those do not work together at all. So we're going to graph this conjunction, and we are going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's our 2. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's our negative 4. And because we have no equal sign underneath, we're just going to circle. Actually, no, I take that back. Our domain is integers, so we can't circle these. All we can do is mark the integers that are greater than negative 4 and less than 2. So negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, and 1. And that is all we can graph. And that is all we have for lesson 112. I will see you in lesson 113.